Okay then, guys, we take a look at these two setups now. On the left-hand one, as we discussed in the session, that ball position was just way too far back, especially for a thread. If we sort of zoom out here now, and we just saw this position, even though the stance is still quite wide, I think you're sort of playing a low punch shot here now. That amount of shaft lean and the hands being that much further forward than the club head, with the lack of loft you have in the club you're using, that ball's going to be going very, very low or very much out to the right, because you're hitting it very early in the arc of the swing. Obviously that club as we'd expect to go. Now you're getting a nice path to work on this curve around here. If you're hitting the golf ball back here too early, with the good shots that you hit on the sim, it's going to go straight to the right. And what will probably happen is during the swing, it's based on a few shots going off to the right, you'll then try and compensate that by maybe sort of swinging over the top or doing some things in the downs to try to fix that initial start direction. So for me, really, just need to get that ball position further forward with that club there. You can see here now how your head is nicely behind the golf ball. I wouldn't have the hands quite so far forward. I mean, ideally speaking, that would be where the shaft would be sort of putting there now. I'd like the club to be a little bit further back, but that's probably a little bit picky on my behalf, really. But generally speaking, we've got to get that ball position forward. As you come around the arc of the swing, you're going to be hitting the golf ball in the right sort of sequence and timing of the low point of that golf swing. If the ball is too far back, as we said, you're just going to be hitting the ball way too early. So get that self in a better setup position. I would practice, as I say, with the stick on the ground, just to get a visual of what that looks like. From your point of view, generally, if you look down, you'll find that at setup, your hand now will be over your left foot. So there's a quick sort of little check there. When you stood to the golf ball, almost your peripherals will see that as you're looking down the golf, you can just sort of see where your hand is in relation to the left foot. And then from there now, the feeling is because the ball is further forward, and I think now with a much better rotation we talked about from the last lesson, you're rotating much nicely in the backswing. From here now, we've got to start moving this way towards target, which you can see in this case you're doing very, very nicely, getting onto that left side. I think probably what happened is, and this is often the sort of chicken on the egg scenario, chicken on the egg, should I say, if you're hitting the ground behind the ball when the ball was potentially here to start with, as most cases we see people start moving the ball back in the stance. So if we do start hitting the ground back here, it's not because the ball is too far forward, I would suggest, it's because you're not moving your body towards target as you come back down. Now, in part, there were some reasons why you couldn't do that. Obviously, the backwind allowed you that, and the posture we discussed last time. Also, when you're swinging over the top, generally you'll find the club will be coming outside and bottoming out a little bit earlier. So you find a lot of people then just sort of move the ball back in their stance just to compensate for that fault. Now the over the top, for the most part, I would say is going, or if not gone. We can now put that ball in a better position and now just focus on moving our body towards target, getting that low point and the strike of the club much more on the back of the ball with a square club face. So when you do hit a good shot, the club face now is going to be square to target, and then send the ball where you want to go. If you find struggling with this, with the ball here now, just make a few swings there, Gavin, with the golf ball where this red circle is here, and it will really just encourage you to start moving this way towards the target more. So adjust that setup, get that stick on the ground to make sure you get the right position time and time again, and once you've got that, it's then just making some swings to get the feel of where that ball is in relation to you, hitting that ball a bit further and hopefully a little bit straighter. So I hope that makes sense, buddy. Any questions, obviously give me a shout, but I'll catch you again soon. Cheers, mate.